Ghana is introducing a new early childhood education policy. The policy seeks to strengthen the subsystems of basic education. Now, joining me in the studio to understand the policy better is Vida Babranto, who is the Director for Early Childhood Education at the Ghana Education Service. Good to see you, Barbara. First, I want you to take us through what this whole, this new policy entails.
Okay, thank you very much. We had education reforms in 2007, which brought the early childhood education under the basic education. Previously, the basic education does not see early childhood education as part of it. But in coming in of the reform,
the new policy,
the reform, early childhood education became part of the basic education system. But most things were not spelled out in the document.
Okay.
For instance, the curriculum. What should the curriculum entail? What should the children learn? The teachers who are supposed to teach these children. And then what sort of infrastructure should they sit in to learn? So these are some of the things that we saw that there is some gap. And for us to strengthen the ECE subsector, we needed to work on it. So needs assessment was done, and we collected data also. Diagnostic assessment was also done. And then with the education sector analysis, 2018's report, we also generated empirical evidence from it, which also said that the early childhood education has not been given the needed attention.
Okay.
So this led to the development of the early childhood education policy.
First, let's understand the gaps that you're talking about.
Okay, thank you. Some of the gaps that we identified that helped us to develop the policy, we put them together and we had 6 action areas. And the first one is planning, effective planning and management. Okay. How do we plan for these children, their needs and everything? That was a gap. And then also the curriculum. What should these children learn? Or what should the curriculum entail? And then the teachers who teach these children, the pre-service teachers and then the in-service teachers, what should they know? Okay. So that they will be able to teach these children. So that was the 3rd action area. Okay. And the 4th action area is family community engagement. Okay. And we saw that this very action area was a very big gap. Parents don't know what their children learn, and teachers also how to communicate with parents to know what their children learn was also a problem. Parents want one thing, and then the teachers are also doing another thing altogether. So that is the 4th action area. And the 5th action area was safe school environment. How do we protect these children at where they learn? Okay. What kind of infrastructure should they have, sit in it, and then to learn? And I must say the current government promised to build 1,771 kindergarten model schools, which they've started, and we are very much appreciative to that. So that one also addresses the 5th action area. And then the 6th action area also talks about monitoring, regulatory, and evaluation. So all these are the gaps that we developed the policy around.
Okay, but generally, what does this new framework, what does it seek to achieve?
The policy or the framework seeks to achieve or to strengthen the ECE subsector. Okay. And then also to coordinate and collaborate with key stakeholders and also address equity, vulnerability, and then the disadvantaged. So in doing this, what do we want to achieve? We want to give the child the holistic development that the child needs. Because as you know, kindergarten is a foundation of all levels of education. So if the foundation is weak, the other levels of education becomes something that we can talk about. So we needed to pay much attention to our kindergarten education.
Let's look at how soon this will be implemented.
We've started with the implementation already. And before I continue, the policy framework is in 3 documents.
Okay.
We have the policy directive, which is this one.
Okay.
And
let me see.
That is the main document.
Okay.
And then we have the guidelines that also talks about how the policy should be implemented. Those who are responsible for it, for the implementation.
Okay.
And then we also have the indicator framework and costed implementation plan. So all the activities in the policy have been broken down into smaller activities. And with the support of UNICEF International, we've costed every activity in the policy.
Okay.
So that if an NGO or a partner wants to support us to implement an aspect of the activities, everything is there. So the costing becomes the basis for anybody who wants to support us. And with the implementation, the policy says we should form the policy says we should form a committee that will oversee every activity of the implementation of the policy.
Okay.
So we've done that one. And then also the curriculum, that one has also been taken care of because in 2019, we came up with a standardized based curriculum. Previously, we were using the objective-based curriculum, which is centered around examination. And at the end of the day, if the child fails the exams, there is nothing more for the child to do. So the standard-based curriculum is there, where it will nurture the skills that the child has. So that at the end of the day, if the child completes school and does not even further, at least the child has some skills that the child can work with. So the curriculum has been taken care of. And then also we have the teachers pre-service and then in-service. So the pre-service is under the colleges of education, and they will come to train our teachers. And we are interested in whatever goes on there at the early childhood colleges.
Do you have a target as to when you want this to, a target? You talked about monitoring and evaluation. So you have a target of maybe 3-4 years, what you seek to achieve?
Okay, for the policy, it has to work for 5 years. Then we will review it and then see what we've been able to achieve, what needs to be done, and then we take it from there.
Okay. All right. I wish you all the best as you implement this, but these are the documents, 3.
Yes.
So this is early childhood education policy.
Yes.
And this is the guidelines for
implementation of the policy.
And this one
is the costed implementation plan. And then monitoring.
For this one, I'm grateful for your time, Vidanto. She is the director for early childhood education at the Ghana Education Service. Now, the Deputy Education Minister has been speaking on this.
Ghana's 2-year education policy for kindergarten is part of its commitment to free and compulsory education. In this, it recognizes the benefits of early childhood education and investments made in this area over the past 2 decades towards Sustainable Development Goal 4.2, which specifically seeks to ensure that by 2030, all girls and boys have access to quality early childhood development care, pre-primary education, so that they are ready for primary education.
Kindergarten, kindergarten, kindergarten. The foundation builders. Yes, we are the foundation. Without us, the other level of education will suffer. So pay attention to us. Nurture us. Grant us the needed support so that the foundation will be strong.
I congratulate the Ministry of Education, the Ghana Education Service, and all stakeholders who contributed towards the development of the process, of course UNICEF as well, especially our parents who also ensured that their voices were heard through the development of this policy. So thank you to all of you who have made this possible today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and my pleasure to now declare the Early Childhood Education Policy Framework duly launched. I thank you all for your attention.